I'm in construction, and I do a lot of supervision work. You know, they were building a big gymnasium in Buena Vista, Colorado. It was December the 20th, and I had went up on deck to help out with some loading. And when I went up, I had the letters securely set, and when I got ready to come back down, somebody had reset it. And as soon as I put my foot on the ladder, it was gone. And I think I would have been okay, but I landed on a piece of steel.
Mr. Bowers had a fractured foot, a fairly complicated fractured foot. Mr. Bowers also had some comorbid conditions that would affect healing, and so there was always the possibility of infection. He ended up having a non-union fracture of his foot, which necessitated a fusion, and he did unfortunately get infections following both of his surgeries.
What they did, they took steel plates and put on top of the bones with screws in it, and it just didn't heal well. I was worried at first that it was my diabetes that caused it not to heal, and so when I suspected that, I thought, wow, what's the insurance company going to say?
I first came into contact with Mr. Bowers back in June of 2008. I had just been assigned to the desk, and I transferred over to another team. And he called in to say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not doing well anymore. I'm getting a lot of pain in my ankle, and I need to find out what to do about it. And so from that point, I got started with getting him back to the doctor, because he'd been off work for quite some time. And then, so you having to follow up with the work comp doctor on the 28th, and then the other doctor, the surgeon, when do you go back to them?
I knew I was going to be down for quite a while, just by where it was at, where it was located, in my foot. So I worried about that, and I got to thinking right off, how am I going to support, and keep everything going? And so I actually, even before I was operated on, I went and set up a second mortgage on my home to accommodate for extra expenses if I had to. But I didn't have to use it.
He'd always planned to retire, and that's what he did. He was doing that as the injury was going on, and because the doctor had told him it's going to be pretty difficult for him to go back to that type of work. So he just says, hey, I'm going to be retiring as soon as this is all done. But in the meantime, we were paying him wage loss benefits. But because his injury worsened, we continued his wage loss benefits even though he was retiring.
I never wanted for a check. My checks were always there on the day they were supposed to be. It wasn't a day later. It was always there. And that's hard to believe, because, even when you work for a company, your checks are not always there on time. And I was just amazed at how well organized and how well that they was doing things.
One of the most important things that we had with Mr. Bowers was good communication. He was open, he was honest. He developed trust in his providers as well as in myself and the adjuster, Sherry. And I think that if you have good communication, it makes the whole work comp process run more smoothly.
He didn't allow his injury to control his life. He didn't allow it to make him stuck. It's a bad circumstance, it's a bad situation that happened to him, but he looked past it. He allowed us to help him with his getting to the doctor and getting the care, and even paying him lost wages, because we paid him lost wages for quite a while. But he did not see it as a stopping place, so to speak. It was just a hurdle in his life, and he got over that hurdle.
They would call me and find out how I was doing. And if I went to a doctor, 2 days later, Betty would call me and say, how did it go? What was the diagnosis? And she had all the paperwork, but still she followed up with one-on-one, and I thought that was great.
I always enjoy talking to injured workers, getting their feedback about their care, about Pinnacol, what they like, what they don't like. Mr. Parker, this is Betty Claridge, Nurse Case Manager with Pinnacol Assurance, calling to see how things are going. I do think that it's really important for injured workers to take an active participation in the management of their claims. And in order for them to do that, there has to be good communication.
For me, his situation was a positive. It even helped me to think, I hope when something ever like this ever happens to me that I'm able to move past it all.
Yeah, hopefully this won't take much longer. I know it takes a while, but you just do what the doctors tell you about this, about taking care of your foot and babying it so it can get better.
We don't have to have an adversarial relationship. We're here to help you. And that's why your company provides workers' compensation insurance, so that you can get the care that you need.
And when I get off the phone, I'll go ahead and I'll get it processed and send it over to get a check issued to you. So we can get it issued before the end of the week, okay?
I just feel that they've got a good company, and it's more than just an insurance company. You know, it's a company that are there to take care of people when they get hurt. And I don't think you could ask for more than that, because that's all it's all about.